Hey, nice film.
Thank you.
One thing that comes to mind is you have an enormous responsibility as a filmmaker to great material.
Mm-hmm.
And did you feel that responsibility to not muck it up?
Well, absolutely. But I feel that every time.
Do you?
You know, I mean, I always feel like that the chance to make a movie is a rare opportunity. And yes, from the studio's vantage point, these things are products. But for me, I'm gonna live with my name attached to that project forever.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is throwing everything they've got into working on a movie. In this case, I have to say that the parallel experience for me, oddly enough, is Apollo 13. Even though the tones are, you know, night and day.
Yeah, they're different films.
Well, totally different. But I never had to give a motivational speech, you know, ever, for a minute to anyone making Apollo 13. Everybody wanted to get it right for the astronauts. Everybody wanted to do justice to the story of that mission. And the same thing with the Grinch. I discovered, you know, just in the earliest stages when we were designing the sets, beginning to talk about, you know, the production problems involved, people were just going the extra mile. They were just staying later at the production office. They were just coming to me with more options than they had to meet their sort of professional you know, level of competency.
Mm-hmm.
It was remarkable. It was exciting, and it was stimulating, and everybody felt it.
And everybody comes through.
Well, thanks.
You know, you
I
can
think
be
so, too.
earnest. It's so interesting when you hear you say that, because you can be earnest and make a bad film. But,
Sure.
But there's a level of things that happen when magic gets created, which happens, I think, in this film. It has moments that just fly off the screen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, I think when I look at Carrey in this film, I've seen Carrey great in a lot of films.
Sure.
He's really good. But there's something, I don't know what it is, that's special about this. Do you feel that?
Well, I felt it was going to be like that, you know, from the first time I talked to him. He had a real passion for the character, just a really deep understanding of the comedic potential of the character, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and also the classic value of the character, what makes the character great. And then I started talking about how I thought we could develop the character. I said, you know, I think he's an arrested adolescent because, you know, he's been living up in that cave, isolated.
Nobody says no.
And nobody ever has to say no. And I also think that that he's probably kind of neurotic. You know, up there. Jim took that and ran with it, but he was absolutely inspired, and he had a clarity about every single choice, every single joke, every single emotional opportunity. You know, to try to sort of bring a level of expressiveness to this character that I think is going to surprise people.
Bottom line, what's the message that we're saying to people who watch this film? I think I know what it is, but what is it for you?
Well, you know, like with any movie and any story, and fable, and Seuss was a really great modern fabulist.
Mm-hmm.
It's really what these stories are. All of his stories, you know, they all take on an idea or two. In expanding it, you know, we're working with the basic ones, the sort of the you know, the protest against the over-commercialization of Christmas, the redemption story, and that's what, you know, the Grinch is. But we also started working with some other ideas. You know, disenfranchisement. How does somebody feel so disenfranchised that they just want to separate themselves and go live in a cave? Now, we're not dealing with it on a very serious level, but that's the way fables work. You know, this is in a whimsical, a fantastic sort of way. We try to deal with that emotional idea. You know, what happens when cultures sort of you know, lose their way, when superficiality and pomp and circumstance you know, take over, and you sort of lose sight of the spirit of the occasion.
Nice film.